Welcome back. Okay, today we are tackling something that I know is a huge headache for pretty much everyone learning English. Prepositions. You know that feeling, right? Where you're just guessing, hoping you pick the right one? Well, you're definitely not alone. But here's a thought. What if the problem isn't your memory at all? What if it's the way you've been learning them this whole time?
Okay, so let's start with this. I'm going to the park versus I'm going toward the park. They seem so close, right? Almost interchangeable. But the tiny difference between these two words, it actually uncovers this massive problem with how we usually learn prepositions.
So, what's the deal? Well, the secret isn't about finding a better translation in your native language. It's about seeing two totally different pictures in your head. The expert Lex teacher puts it this way. To is all about arrival. You can literally picture yourself getting to the park. It's the destination. But toward, that's just about the direction. You're moving in that general direction, sure, but hey, maybe you'll stop for coffee first. The park isn't a guarantee.
And that right there is the trap. Trying to memorize that to equals this one specific word in your language, it just doesn't work. It's a broken system. The real problem, the one we've all been struggling with, is that we were taught to memorize words, not to see the pictures behind them.
Okay, so if memorizing is the wrong way to go, what's the right way? Well, thankfully, there's a much better approach gaining ground. And it really boils down to two things that can change the game for you. First, getting the core concept. And second, seeing the picture.
Yeah, check out this quote from JJ English. I think it hits the nail on the head. There is no royal road to English, but I believe there is a right way. Love that. And for prepositions, that right way is what he calls conceptualization. It's about really getting the core idea. The big idea, not just one narrow translation that only works half the time.
And here's the other half of the puzzle. This quote makes it so clear. It's not just some fuzzy abstract concept. It's a literal picture you can see in your mind. And once you can see that picture, bam, you get the word's true meaning in any situation. No more flashcards needed.
All right, enough theory. Let's actually put this to the test. Let's take a really tricky one, over. I bet most of us learn that over just means above something, right? Well, that's like saying a car is just a steering wheel. It's only a tiny part of the whole picture. So here's the key. I want you to completely forget the simple translations for a minute. The real core picture of over is an arc, like a rainbow or the path of a thrown ball. It's a movement that goes up, across, and down the other side, from point A to point B. It's a journey that covers a space.
And once you see it, you'll see it everywhere. Think about it. A plane flies over the mountain. It's making that arc. A horse jumps over a fence. Same arc. You throw a ball over a wall. There it is again. Even walking over a bridge, you're going up, across the middle, and down the other side. It all fits this one single picture.
And you know what? This picture method is amazing because it helps us untangle confusing words. Like, what's the difference between over and across? Well, think about the pictures. Across is flat. It's 2D. You walk across the street on the pavement. But over is 3D. It has height. A plane flies over the street. See? Different picture, different word. So simple. Okay, this is where it gets really cool. Once you've got that core picture, that covering arc, locked in your mind, you can start to see how it stretches out to cover all these other more abstract ideas. This is the real magic of this approach. So let's follow the logic. The arc covers something from start to finish, right? Well, that gives us game over. The game is finished, completely covered. What if you do that action again? You're covering the same path, over and over. And what about when water covers the top of a glass and keeps going? It overflows. See, it all stems from that one single, simple picture. It's not four separate things to memorize, it's one idea. So I hope you're seeing that this isn't just some neat trick for the word over. This is a whole new way of thinking about learning the language. We need to shift away from thinking about language as a list of words to translate and start seeing it as a dynamic movie playing out in our heads. Yeah, this idea from Aero English is just perfect. English is a movie. Think about that. You don't watch a movie by jumping to the end, translating what happened, and then working your way back to the beginning, right? No! You watch it as it unfolds, scene by scene. That's how we should be processing English sentences. So let's try it. Cranes fly over the mountain. Don't translate, let's make the movie. Scene 1.
Cranes, got it. What are they doing? They fly. Okay. Scene 2, where are they? Their position is over. Ah, I see that arc in my head. And what's underneath that arc? Scene 3, the mountain. Boom. You just understood the sentence in the right order naturally.
So this is it. This is the big idea we need to take away from all this. We have to retrain our brains. We've got to stop trying to memorize and start trying to visualize. The next time you're stuck on a preposition, just stop and ask yourself, okay, what's the picture here?
Honestly, once you start doing this, you'll realize every single preposition is like a little visual puzzle. And now you basically have the key. You can unlock this deeper, more natural way of understanding English just by looking for the picture. So please, next time, don't just translate, visualize. And that kind of leaves us with a fun question to think about, doesn't it? If over is this covering arc, what kind of picture do you think under has?